Alright, that's the last one.
These strings took forever to do. Well, at least they're done right this time. True.
Yeah, let's move this one over.
I just noticed one.
So,
All these strings are either in the shape of a square or a rectangle.
yeah, it's true.
I wonder why they only use squares and rectangles. Well, you remember what a teacher said last class about quadrilaterals? Never paid much attention in that class.
Well, squares and rectangles have certain properties shared by most polylaterals.
A square has a few main characteristics. One is that all sides of a square are congruent. This means that all sides are of the same length. Another important characteristic is the fact that every one of the square's angles is equal to 90 degrees. As a result of all the angles being 90 degrees, the sum of the interior angles must equal to 360 degrees.
But what about a rectangle? Well, rectangles and squares share many characteristics.
Like a square, all of a rectangle's angles equal to 90 degrees. Also, like a square, the sum of the angles must add up to 360 degrees. However, the lengths of the sides of a rectangle are different from the length of the side of a square. On a rectangle, there are two pairs of parallel sides, with each pair being of a different length. On a square, both parallel sides are congruent. Also, another little fact is that a square is qualified as a rectangle, but a rectangle is not qualified as a square.
Are those the only types of quadrilaterals?
Not at all. There's also trapezoid, rhombi, and tights.
Now, this trapezoid, which is actually an isosceles trapezoid, has characteristics that are different from both the square and the rectangle. One is that the top side and the bottom side are parallel to each other. The legs of an isosceles trapezoid are also congruent to each other. Lastly, the base angles of the isosceles trapezoid are congruent.
Okay, so what about a kite?
Kites have four main characteristics. Each pair of opposite sides is congruent to each other. The angles that are opposite of each other are also congruent to each other. And the diagonals always intersect each other at 90-degree angles.
And now we have the rhombus.
But it looks like a kite.
No, my dear Kyle, it is not a kite.
There are four basic characteristics for a rhombus. One is that all sides of the rhombus are equal. The opposite sides of the rhombus are also parallel. The opposite angles of a rhombus are congruent to each other as well. Lastly, the diagonals bisect each other at right angles.
Oh, I think I remember everything now.